How do you write a concluding paragraph that supports the information presented? In this lesson, you will learn how to write a concluding paragraph that supports the information presented by reviewing the topic of the essay in order to articulate its significance. Let's review by taking a look at the assignment prompt. How does Abraham Lincoln appeal to his audience with logic, ethics, and emotion? After reading Lincoln's second inaugural address, write an essay that clearly and accurately describes the author's purpose and that makes important connections and distinctions between the types of appeals Lincoln uses. Support your discussion with evidence from the text. Now let's review the writing process for responding to a text. First, read closely and analyze. Second, generate and plan. Third step would be to draft and revise. And then fourth, edit and publish. We've already finished steps 1 through 3 for the assignment prompt, How does Abraham Lincoln appeal to his audience with logic, ethics, and emotion? We've also written rough drafts of the introduction and body paragraphs. In this lesson, we will write a draft of the conclusion paragraph. So since we've already covered how to write the introduction and body paragraphs, now we're going to write a concluding paragraph. In previous grades, a conclusion may have supported or explained information in your writing. It's important that the conclusion doesn't just restate your main points, but articulates implications or significance of the topic in a way that leaves an impression on your audience. Let's go ahead and take a look at the steps that we're going to go through in this lesson. First, review the outline and the introduction paragraph. Second, write down ideas that articulate the significance of the topic. And third, choose ideas that best articulate the significance of the topic as you draft your conclusion. Now let's first review the outline and the introduction paragraph. As we review the outline, remember that the body paragraphs, or the meat of the essay, is about Lincoln's use of logic, ethics, and emotion to appeal to his audience. We also remember that the conclusion should emphasize the purpose and make connections. Now let's review the introduction paragraph. Reviewing the introduction paragraph is important because the introduction and conclusion are like the buns of a hamburger. They hold it all together. If we can end with ideas that relate to the introduction, it will help bring closure to the essay or feel like you've gone full circle. So let's read. Nobody likes to make difficult changes. Nobody likes to hear the words, "It's your fault." Great leaders hold people accountable and inspire them to make difficult changes in order to have a better future. In Lincoln's second inaugural address, Abraham Lincoln uses logic to appeal to reason, ethics to appeal to his audience's sense of fairness, and emotion to appeal to their feelings, in order to advance his purpose that the North and the South should reconcile in order to heal in unity as a nation. Lincoln uses logic to appeal to his audience's reasoning to declare that both the North and South are off track. So next, we are going to write down ideas that articulate the significance of the topic. For this step, I'm going to use a graphic organizer, most commonly referred to as a mind map, concept map, or a web. If brainstorming with a mind map doesn't work for you, jotting down ideas in a linear list is just fine as well. Let's first write significance of the topic in the middle. From the introduction, we mentioned how Lincoln showed leadership, so we should add a bubble that says leadership. Also, he wanted unity, so let's add another. And that slavery ended was a very significant part of Lincoln's message. So let's add that one. And his appeals are central to the topic we've been writing about. Now that we have some main ideas, let's get more specific as to why they're significant. What comes to mind about Lincoln's leadership? Well, he had hope for a better future. He was willing to hold people accountable and lead the nation through difficult times. And then for unity, another related word is indivisible, which you might recognize from the Pledge of Allegiance. And we now know that America has remained unified ever since the Civil War. And then as for slavery, it is still regarded as one of America's most shameful offenses. Lincoln is famous for his role in ending slavery in America. So his appeals are used in Lincoln's speech, and the three appeals are to logic, ethics, and emotion. So now we have a number of ideas that can help articulate the significance of the topic. So next we will choose ideas that best articulate the significance of the topic as you write your conclusion. So first, we could talk about the significance of how Lincoln has impacted the country even to this day using these ideas. So let's write, we know from history that America remained unified as a nation after the Civil War ended, and that slavery is still considered one of America's most shameful offenses. So let's continue by writing, furthermore, Abraham Lincoln is considered one of America's greatest leaders for his role in ending slavery and leading the nation through the Civil War. Now let's write about how he did this through his appeals. Lincoln appealed to logic, ethics, and emotion to hold the nation accountable and inspire them to make difficult changes in order that the nation would have a better future. Now I've used most of our ideas to write a rough draft of a conclusion. So in the previous lesson, we wrote a rough draft of the introduction and body paragraphs. With the completion of the conclusion, the rough draft is now complete. So now let's take a look at the big picture of the writing process. We just finished the rough draft and have done some revision along the way. So next we'll be editing the rough draft. Let's look at the steps from this lesson once again. Number 1, review the outline and the introduction paragraph. 2, write down ideas that articulate the significance of the topic. 3, choose ideas that best articulate the significance of the topic as you draft your conclusion. In this lesson, you have learned how to write a concluding paragraph that supports the information presented by articulating the significance of the topic.